All right, we are back over here at John's, messing with the Ventura. Went down to Skips and picked up a transmission because the one that's on the back of that Turbo 350 on the back of the Pontiac is a different bolt pattern, which we was hoping it was universal, but it's not. But even if it would have been a universal, it's still ain't a good enough transmission to handle what the engine's gonna make under boost. This one is rated 875 plus, got a 2-year warranty on it. Wasn't cheap by no means. $2,200, $2,276, $2,279, something like that. Wasn't cheap, but this one is rated 875 horsepower, 2-year warranty. It doesn't have a trans brake. This is the TCI Super Street Fighter Edition Turbo 400. Yeah, they threw in this stuff, dipstick tube and adjustable modulator and all that stuff with it. But yeah, this does not have a trans brake. You can either shift it manually or you can put it in drive and it'll shift itself, which is great for the street. Yeah, he don't really need a trans brake. He's not going to be racing this thing very much. He maybe go make 1 or 2 passes with it. All right, these engine mounts were so seized in here that I've literally had to cut the heads off the bolts and ground through and knock them out because they would not come loose. I even got the big breaker bar on them and they wouldn't budge. If I had my big punch, it'd be easier, but they are in there good. Now what's it bolted to? These stupid things. Oh, it's bolted to the motor side too. Well, we have my 9/16 and my Makita. Makita's right behind it. Alright, I'm trying to get this frame cleaned up, and there's literally like gunk buildup 1 inch thick. That right down in there was 1 inch thick. It's full of rocks and stuff. Got that part cleaned up pretty good. Got that part cleaning that up now. Still got to do all this. Got to clean it all so we can get some paint on it. But man, this thing's filthy. Alright, I'm getting it. Slowly but surely, I'm getting it. Alright, finally back over here working on John's stuff. I have to take care of everybody else's stuff and I'm all over the place all the time. I got so many people's cars and things I got to keep going and keep up with that it makes it difficult sometimes to stick with one thing and get it done to the end. But I've been waiting on stuff and all that, but I got the paint, I got all that stuff, so I'm gonna get here and finish cleaning, mask all this up and get it all black. Gonna go with probably a satin black and yeah, get all satin black out in here and then I'll be able to mock up everything. Just gotta wait for the engine mounts and the trans mount and all that stuff to show up, and axles, front brake assembly stuff, doing all of it. So yeah, that's what I'm about to do, get in there and get after it. All right, got all that cleaned up, got the frame cleaned up, got the firewall cleaned up, got the master cylinder, brake booster cleaned up. Now I'm gonna start masking things off and get my paint mixed up. All right, got this thing painted. This paint will actually die down a little bit. It's still sort of glossy because it's wet, but as it cures, it'll dull out a little bit and should die down a little bit more. But I mean, that looks so much better. So much better. We were doing different master cylinder, we're doing different stuff, all that, but it is all like a semi-gloss, so that he'll still be able to rinse it off and keep it clean, but at the same time, it's not gonna be super flat where it holds dirt. He'll still be able to rinse it off, so that's good. And that's 3 coats on that, so it should be good. We're doing a whole brake kit, front brake kit, getting away from these drums, putting spindles and discs and all that stuff on this, and then I'll do the brakes, front brake system and all that. I'm going to weld the motor mounts, the lower rings of the motor mounts to the frame rails, get the motor where I want it, get the trans cross member where I want it, weld the motor mounts in, and then the engine and trans will be mounted. The torque converter showed up, freak show, huge shout out to them. Guy done it as fast as he could, like they're covered up this time of year, but got it done as fast as I could. It was about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, but still, he got it done. And 9 times out of 10, those converters are spot on first try. So we'll slap that in there, put his trans and stuff in. There's a big TCI Turbo 400 over here. Slap that in. Yeah, that's what's happening, man. Real progress. Like I said, it took me forever to get back over here and get on this and get all that stuff painted and coated. But all right, I gotta let this paint cure for probably 24 to 48 hours before I can touch anything. But check it out. Climbed up on the ladder so I can get a good look at everything. There she is, black now. Looks good. Look even better with that boosted 383 down in that sucker. Making all them whistle noises, like the intro to Andy Griffith Show. All right, I'm back over here at John's working on the Ventura. All the paint's cured, everything's good. Doing the oil feed, we got the engine mounts on. Doing the oil feed, I got the turbos in the box, fixed to open it up and show everybody it. It's a VS Racing. I'm mocking everything up. Then I'm going to drop the engine and trans, butt them together. Got the converter over there, Freak Show, 3500 stall, which I was going to go with a tighter converter. I was going to go with like a 28 or something, but it's going to be way too tight. So talked to dude, he said for that cam and the combination, everything, go with 3500. That way, if he does take it racing, he can foot brake it and build a little bit of boost and come out of the hole since he ain't got a trans brake. He'll actually be able to build a little boost foot brake, which is, it's pretty much the exact same thing. Mine in the 74 is a 3800 and it's good, and Colton's in the S10 is a 3500. So it should work good. Had to take the water pump and stuff off so I could get to that feed port for the oil feed port in the front so I could do my line. But I'm gonna put the turbo on there, bolt it up, make my return and all that stuff, the oil feed and oil return, clock the turbo where it needs to be, put the carb on the hat and all that, have all that done, and then pick everything up, put the converter on it and the trans, and then slide everything down in there and see how it's all gonna fit and all that stuff. So I got my welder. I'm gonna weld the lower side of the mounts to the cross member. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna shut up and get back to work and tune back in here in a little while. All right, this is a T78 X42. Caught them on sale at Summit for 499 bucks. The VS Racing thing stepped into them where it looks all gaudy. These are nice and smooth, they're really good. It's what I got on, we got two of these on the S10. Except the ones on the S10 are the billets. I don't know if this is billet, I have to look at the paperwork on it. There's the feed line. Probably gonna have to get a shorter feed line, but there's the turbo, that's how it's gonna set. Wastegate will go right there, exhaust will come down and turn back, should work good. All right, there's the mock-up. I got my oil return made. Had to put a fitting in that and weld that because they don't make one for this, so I had to make my own. So it's gonna come out of there, drain right back down like it's supposed to. The oil feed is run up there. And this is the plumbing. This is the cold side. I mean, as simple as it can get. This thing is gonna have like almost no turbo lag really. With that 3500 stall and this thing being so close to the carb, it's gonna be quick to come on. Yeah, that's awesome. It's so compact. And it all should clear the stock hood. So we'll see here in a little while. But all right, since all that's mocked up, I'm gonna bolt the lower mounts up, pull that carb and stuff back off. I'll probably just leave the turbo on it. I'm gonna go ahead and bolt the other headers on and then pick it up with a cherry picker. So that's pretty much, I'm gonna put a mark on this so I can trim that. But that's pretty much how it's gonna be. All right, clearance that header tube right there. So I mock all this stuff up before I put the engine and stuff in the car. That way I can clearance things and fix things so I'm not fighting it inside the car. And got the converter out of the box. It's a Freak Show 3500. They're all green like that. It's just kind of their thing. Every one of the converters is that weird color green. It's pretty ugly. I prefer black, but that's the way they show up. And they show up in a regular box. Like there's a box. But yeah, they just show up in a regular old plain Jane box. But those are the best converters we've ever run. Got one in the 57, got one in my car, got one in Colton's S10. And rated to 1,000 horsepower. Well, the one in Colton's is rated to 14 or 1,500. 3,500 stall, should be able to bring it up on foot brake, about 2,100, 2,200. Should work great with the cam and stuff in this engine. So he custom made it. It's got the balloon, anti-ballooning plates and all that stuff in it. So it'll take the boost and should be able to cruise around. I mean, worst case scenario, it might be a little bit too loose, but I don't think so. We'll just put it in there and see. But the cool thing about Freak Show is you get one, you put it in there, and if it's not right, you can send it back and they'll fix it for you, do another adjustment on it for free, and then send it back. So pretty awesome place. We never had one though that wasn't right out of the box. They're always good. But yeah, fixing to pick this thing up, open up the transmission. We'll look at this trans here in a second. All right, we are unboxing a $2,200 transmission. 22, 23, I can't remember how much it was. It was not cheap. Look at that right there. Box the crap out of that thing. I had to just jerk it out of there because of that stuff they put around it. Look at that puppy. Oh, that's cool. All right, there it is, all unwrapped in all its glory. Sucker sure is pretty. All right, fix the stick converter in the trans, and then take the trans, stick it to the engine. Just picked it up and carried it over here so I could do this right here. So it's fixing to happen. Engine fixing to meet trans, turbo 400. So let me slap that converter in it. We'll leave that plastic there in case there's any fluid, because I got to dump about half a quart in that, and then slap it in there and then put them together. All right, converter, trans, engine, headers, turbo, oil feeds, oil return, engine mounts. It's all ready. It's ready to go in the car. So I was hoping to have it in. It's already 7:30. What I'll probably do is ease it down, and I think Thursday Carla's off because tomorrow is Wednesday. I got to go out Davo's and put a new shifter and stuff in the Camaro so we can drive that thing on car show or whatever he wants to do. But what I think I'll do, I'll wait till Thursday, and Carla can come help me, and I'll feed this thing down in there. All right, I got to get a 2.5 coupler, either a V-band or something like that for that pipe. But yeah, everything else should be good. Got to get a couple of lines, a couple of hoses. But yeah, Thursday I'll be back, and I'm gonna have Carla with me, and we'll stick that sucker in there. All right, Carla come over here today to help me put this 383 down to Ventura. Thank you, Carla. Just to help guide the thing down in there and all that stuff. I could have done it by myself, but this makes it a lot easier. Yeah, getting it jacked up, getting it ready to swing over and drop down in there. All right, well, it was a bit of a fight, but she sat down in there. The lower side of the mounts will work. I gotta do the top side, but if I wouldn't have set it down in there, I wouldn't have known that. So I'll be able to get those, move it forward, and then mount it down in there. And also, I gotta get a 90 for this because that's never gonna work. All right, we gotta sit down in there. Gotta get a couple things. I went in through the inlet tube and the hat and stuff on it just so I could take a picture of it. Looks good. gonna look really good once it's actually like in there, permanently in there. And the exhaust should run out right here, and dip down right between there. So here's the cooler line, or the heater core lines for the heater. They're gonna come out and turn right down in there. So, but yeah, I'm gonna put a 90 on this. It's gonna be a 90 that goes down there. This was just what I got in the kit, and it sucks. I'm gonna buy a better one. But all right, here's a very expensive box with not a whole lot of stuff in it, but the stuff is expensive. Look at the pump, 400 liter per hour. Puts out 60 psi. I got a aeromotive bypass regulator. These are the bushings and stuff. These are all the fittings, cow tracks for the rear end. This is to put a return into the gas tank. So that is all really cool stuff. But I'm gonna check my fittings on this, make sure everything I got is right, because I gotta order some stuff for this. So I'm gonna check everything and make sure it's all right. And that's gonna be tight on the hood. Took the radiator and all that stuff and dropped it. It's gonna be all cleaned up and repainted. I put the water pump and the fan on. Look at the distance. The original shroud is probably still gonna work. Radiator's gonna work. The retention topper plate for the radiator is gonna work. I mean, this is awesome. All because of the way you position that engine. Everything should work. Fixing to start doing the fuel system. There's the aeromotive regulator, bypass style regulator, so it'll return back to the tank. Here's our line. I got a bunch of that line in my box over there. Just got to make sure all this stuff fits first before I pull the engine back out and do the final welding on the engine mount. So just got to make sure everything fits right. All right, I got the Ventura up on stands. We got it up high so I can get another. I got to build a cross member, either build one or modify one to fit. Since it's got a turbo 400 in it now, and small block Chevy engine and turbo 400, things have moved back. So I got to build a cross member. Once I build a cross member, either build it or modify the one that's in it. I'm probably just going to build one. Got the welder. I got my cutting wheel and stuff. I had to go buy a welding wire. They didn't have no 030, so I got 035. Hopefully, because I drilled that nozzle out. Hopefully it's big enough to work with 035. If not, I'll drill it out some more. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I got all the cardboard and stuff up. I'll probably cut these boxes up and make fresh cardboard to lay on, because that stuff is just shot. It's filthy, dirty junk. So I'll cut this stuff up and make fresh cardboard. But yeah, got her up, fixing to do cross member, fuel pump, fuel lines, all that stuff up to the engine. And we'll go from there. Alright, so I'm just having to build a cross member. I've tried every which way I could to make the old one work, and it just ain't gonna do it. So I'm just making one. Alright, I'm building the cross member. This part is gonna have a flange that comes back that supports the back end of the transmission. These go up along the frame rails and bolts go through here, and it sits up in there nice and tight, and it looks really good. And it's really strong with all the weight of that transmission and stuff and that engine. You need a good solid cross member, and it has to be custom because nothing else will fit. So I'll get in here and film and show you a video of it mocked up. Oh, this just took me forever to build this thing, to get everything square and everything right, and then make this. Let's see how it goes. It goes across the frame right there, bolt, across here, bolt, and I use this existing places so I can put nuts on the backside. Well, then I got to come off from here with the other piece that attaches to that, but it's super strong. Yeah, it is not going to flex, move, bend, break. It's in there good. So It's worth all the trouble to build it like that. It's just, man, just doing it. It just takes time. It is so hot in this garage. I'm telling you, it's probably like 105 in here. I'm not even kidding. Ugh. It has been killing me all day because I needed a full day. I've been coming over in the afternoons, you know, for 2 or 3 hours. But I needed it good, like from 9 o'clock or from 8 o'clock till, you know, 4 or 5. Get this whole thing figured out. Once this is done, then I can move on to the other stuff. The other stuff will go faster. It's just making this and fitting this and making sure everything's right. So, I'm getting it, little by little. Alright, I'm calling it right there. Check it out. Look at my bubble. Perfect. Alright, see, this is where it's going to mount. Just like that. And this bumps up against that cross member piece, and I weld across and across. Makes it super strong. So, alright. Wanna get in there and mock it up. Alright, see, this is what I was talking about. See how that comes down in cups right there? I'll be able to weld here, here, and across there. And the bolts go right in here. Everything fits nice and perfect. I mean, I still got to clean all this frame up and underneath the car and paint that. I got all that cleaned up. It's all blacked out, so I got to clean under here now that I got it up and black all that out too. But that right there is going to work fantastic. Super heavy duty, super strong. Bolts to the frame rails across this way and that way. Can't flip, can't move, can't bend. So that's going to be good. So a lot of work. That is a lot of work to make that, but it's worth it. In the end, it'll be so much stronger, so much better, and plus the old one wouldn't fit. I mean, this one just wouldn't work for a turbo 400 trans. And I got my level on the carburetor pad up there. Everything's perfectly level, just like it needs to be. My geometry for the drive shaft and the rear end should be good. So that was the biggest thing. That was the key, trying to get all that stuff sorted out where it needed to be. Driveline geometry, engine squareness, and all that. So tedious work, but it'll pay off in the end. Not bad at all. Not bad at all for a flux core. I welded the ladder bars on Dad's black truck with this thing, and he hammers the crap out of that, and it ain't never broken up. I mean, me and Kerry welded my 64 frame together with this welder. And it's a Mac Tools, man. This thing is a killer welder. You click that sucker up on 4, and it'll burn through just about anything. But, yeah, that's not bad at all. Slap some paint on it and bolt it up in there. I got the cross member all welded up and painted and everything. It's pretty good. So I'm fixing to slap that in the car, bolt it up. You didn't think that little sucker took as much time as it took to make, but you got to measure, and that's what takes forever. Measure and cut it, measure and cut it, and fit it, and figure out a plan with it. But that's built now, so that's awesome. So good deal. So that's the main goal right now, is get that engine low enough so the hood will close with the turbo. That's what I'm working on. There you go. You can see my cross member I made. Bolts on each side. It goes over. Bolts go right there. All solid, just like solid mounts I got up front. So it's good. All right, another 2 hours later, and now everything is perfect. Correct spacing between the mounts. The mounts location is perfect. Clearance between all that stuff is perfect. Level is perfect. I get the distributor cap on. turbo is below the hood line, way below the hood line. So now the hood should go on with no problem. Now I'm going to weld these motor mounts in place where they are. That's it. I got maybe a 1/16 inch of clearance between the oil pan and the cross member. Engine's nice and level, square. It's about as good as that's going to get. So I'm gonna put her in there permanently. Man, that was a struggle. Oh well, that's what you got to do to make it right. I am so glad to have that freaking engine set in there square and everything good. Like I said, I fought this thing for the last 2 days, trying to get everything absolutely perfect. And you check out my bubble, man. It's good. It's good. But like I said, I fought this thing trying to get everything perfect. And I just want it to be as good as possible. So that's pretty good right there. Should be down plenty low enough. We should have no clearance issues. So nice. The engine's perfectly good and square and level. And the cross member that I built looked like a champion. Like I said, still got to clean all this up and paint it, but cross member worked fantastic. So I'm tickled with that. I'm gonna go give me something to eat, because it is hot here. It's about midday. About 1, 2 o'clock. It's like 100 something degrees in this place. So I'll be coming over early, work until about 1 o'clock, and then I'll go and come back about 5 o'clock, 5:30. Yeah, plugging right along. Awesome. Carl, come over here and help me put the hood on. So, look, the hood shuts with the turbo. All that freaking hours and hours of work that I did to get this thing right paid off, because now it works. And everything clears. Ta-da! See? Open. Closed. And it don't hit. But you can see, here's my flashlight. It's probably got a 1/2 inch clearance on top. And I ain't gonna cut nothing. You just had to put the engine out about a dozen times. Oh yeah, check it out. Oh, we got tons of clearance. We got over 1 inch or more. If you look up through there, get down low here. See above the turbo there? Yeah, we got clearance for days. Perfect. All right, cool. You can pause it then.